Ho, 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 prancers and dancers, and welcome back to a merry edition of the Change My Mind podcast. In fact, it's episode number 96, and of course, we're part of the hashtag Dorkshire Gooniverse, along with Geeks Worldwide Radio, and of course, Midnight.fm. And we are the Undisputed People's Podcast. We are the podcast formerly known as The Prettiest, but we are reclaiming that title slowly but surely. And officially, we are the Ben Zobrist of podcasting duos. I'm Wesley Sykes. Through the other side of the ether is the Jerry Seinfeld to my Larry David, Mr. Nick Fryer, with just a couple of good mentions out there.
Okay, I can live with that. I'm fine with that because I think Jerry Seinfeld now doesn't get enough credit. As much as his show is praised for being amazing and everything, and now, like, I'm talking about Seinfeld, not the comedians in cars getting coffee, which does get its due.
Yeah, ripped off by like almost everybody.
Well, yeah. So I like with Curb though. Everybody's like Curb's better because they swear and all this, that, whatever. Well, okay, yeah, but everything's funnier when it swears. I think it takes real talent to not swear and be funny. I mean, obviously we can't do that because we swear all the time.
Of course, yes. And, I'm not really debating who is better. I think they're both great. But the reason why I bring it up is, of course, we're going to be discussing our top Christmas gifts. But I believe this is the fourth or fifth night of Hanukkah, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So I have some cabbage wraps in my fridge right now from my stepmother, who is a practicing Jewish woman here. So I'll be diving into that after this here. So, just getting some good Jew food going in there.
I did not know that you had a... So do you kind of celebrate Hanukkah in a way or recognize it?
Yeah. I've broken bread a few times. I've had matzo ball soup,
How is that?
Sat down for a Seder. It's really good. It's like meatballs.
Oh, okay. All right. But not meat.
No, I think it's like bread almost, right? It's matzah.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what matzah is.
Unleavened bread, I think it is.
It's matzah. Yeah, that's what it is.
Matzo ball soup. Yeah, but it kind of has like a meatball consistency to it. Enough about Jewish historical foods here. Into our intro question, and this is a very pressing matter. Would you rather have Doctor Strange's cape or Falcon's exo wings?
You usually come up with pretty good questions that I feel like you can go either way, and maybe most people would. I think this one's just a no-brainer, Wes. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, Falcon's exo wings are cool, but how do you not go with Doctor Strange's cape in this situation?
Well, it seems kind of like a jerk. Like, it seems like he's kind of or she is kind of calling the shots. You don't really have control over it.
Well, but it also has your back through and through. Clearly, we saw what happened against Thanos, throwing its life on the line.
Yeah, that's true. Saved him from Ebony Maw in Infinity War.
Yeah, that too. But I mean, both Ebony Maw and Thanos in a day. Yeah, that's pretty impressive to me. I would want to have that person. If that person's calling the shots or individual thing, whatever, I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, the exo wings, though, just to give it some credit, because of course I think Magic, is going to win out more often than not here. But to give those exo wings, cool. Like, I don't even need to be a superhero. I can just go from point A to point B. I'm not sitting on Route 3 traffic trying to get home, from Boston, anything like that. There, I can just, as a crow flies, go right over the bay, head home.
I'd be totally fine with the exo wings. It's just if you're asking me to pick between the two, I'm taking the cape, no questions asked. As much as we learned in The Incredibles, no capes. I'm okay with capes.
Now the cape can still can it fly, or does it just levitate?
It flies.
It flies. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that's how Stephen Strange is able to fly whenever he does. Right? Yeah.
Does he fly or does he like levitate though? That's kind of my question.
I think he's able to do both. We've seen the cape fly. I know, because how else is it throwing itself in front of Thanos? Like remember when he like whispers it, don't let him close his hand.
See, I thought it might be more like a peacock, like in a pinch, it could kind of fly, or like a turkey, it could fly up to like a couple branches, but it's not like a bird of flight.
I appreciate you making a call back to last episode.
That's I figured it'd work. And again, just to reiterate, we're going to be discussing our top childhood Christmas gifts. So we're digging back into a little Christmas nostalgia. Mm-hmm. But before that, we had big news. I'm sure all of you have already heard this already, but Disney's Investors Day, that's apparently a thing. That just wrapped up, and we're not going to go through and give you a rundown of everything that's already out there, because again, I'm sure there's 3 other shows probably within this universe that have already done that, as well as everywhere else. So I think a good use of this space could be to power rank what we are most excited about, 5 through 1. And then maybe we'll have some honorable mentions or things we didn't like after that. But number 5, most excited thing from Disney's Investors Day, of course, Star Wars Marvel heavy news.
Right. So I'll start from the bottom. The She-Hulk show, I'm very excited about because Kevin Feige's making it sound like we're going to see other characters mixed in. And look, that's very normal for Marvel. But to me, like when I start seeing everybody like, is it going to be Matt Murdock, Daredevil? Are we going to see him mixed in? It makes a ton of sense given She-Hulk's background and her secret identity. Mm-hmm. And they have the rights to Daredevil back. Disney has that back now. So I would love to see that. Number 4 for me is Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay. I thought we were going to go for Daredevil. Honorable mention for me was She-Hulk, because a lot of the same reasons. I like the idea of kind of like a law thriller. You can kind of bring in a lot of maybe lower level superheroes or introduce them in that kind of way, or give opportunities for crossover to bigger stars in a different light. This is kind of what I always said. What I wanted out of like a superhero show is to kind of see what goes on within the universe from day-to-day people. I know these are going to be superheroes, but I think that's going to be kind of interesting to see. Maybe more of like a day-to-day thing, as opposed to just like fighting space monsters and that sort of thing for 30 minutes at a time.
I think these shows have a ton of potential, and this is a character I do not know a whole heck of a lot about just because Hulk's in her name, so I generally don't care. But I think She-Hulk is a better character than the Hulk from what I've heard, at least for my money. So I'm definitely more excited about this than if we were going to get a Hulk movie or a Hulk show. And of course, we know that Abomination, the guy who played it in the Edward Norton movie, is going to be reprising. He's going to be reprising his role in this. So another thing to get excited about.
And a lot of people were wondering, I think I heard this on the news dump from Mac and Goo, and they're wondering like, why Tim Roth? What's his connection? Again, I think it's Thunderbolt Ross, and I think you're going to see in the She-Hulk and things come out with Captain and the Winter Soldier and Black Widow. I think a lot of the espionage, government kind of angle that they have with S.H.I.E.L.D. and all this other stuff kind of going on. I think you're going to see that play out on MCU's ground game, so to speak.
Yeah, that would be a great idea. I would love to see Thunderbolt Ross turn into Red Hulk. We need it to happen. I mean, that's another kick-ass character. But what's your 5? Then?
Yes, my 5 is Shang-Chi. Not a lot came out about this, but again, this is a property that I'm still pretty excited about. From what I've heard from a lot of like YouTubers, rumors, and rumor mills, again, that it's going to be a Mortal Kombat blood sport type of fight, like fighting championship thing. And if that's where they go, Batroc the Leaper, Batron the Leaper there, George St. Pierre from the Winter Soldier. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to be reprising his role with maybe a mutant. Someone has even referenced maybe like an Omega Red making an appearance in there.
If you got Omega Red brought into that, then Shang-Chi goes right to the top of my power rankings.
I believe that's rumored out there. But again, a lot of these YouTubers were like right on with this stuff.
I love how you and I are the only two. Well, Goo's a journalist. I mean, right? Does Radio Guy count as a journalist?
Well, he's worked in news. Yeah.
And Keith to a somewhat extent too, but I'd say Keith's more of an entertainer.
I think Billy's been in the press box.
Well, Billy has, but Billy does all the graphics and stuff like that. It's a little bit different, I think. But either way, like you and I are the only like writers, like writer journalists, however you want to put it. And you love to go for the rumor people, like not what reporters are saying, or semi-reporters, however you want to look at it. You want to go with the rumor people.
Well, yeah, like any good journalist, you got to be embedded. You got to get down and dirty. You got to slide through the Reddits. You got to be in the streets.
The Reddits, yeah. Oh God,
a lot of them turn out right, man. If you're an undercover, drug cop, you gotta talk to some sources.
That's true.
Maybe less than credible sources.
Yeah, that is true. I still do not fully understand how Reddit works. But anyways, Falcon and the Winter Soldier comes in at my number 4, the trailer, just because, look, it's an awesome trailer, but I feel like we got it gave us an idea of how this is going to look, but I already felt like we knew this was going to be good. The other stuff that I have ahead of it was all new news that I wasn't aware of. And that's the only reason why it's ahead of Falcon and the Winter Soldier's trailer.
Yeah, and that's my number 2, and I agree with you. It wasn't a whole lot really to push me over to the top or get me more excited about it, but this was one of the series that I was most excited for. That kind of buddy cop, and it looks like, again, that Winter Soldier spy espionage thriller type of vibe on there. So I'm really interested to see how that dynamic works out. So that's my number 2. But my number 4 was the Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Again, another nod to the YouTube group. They had Kang the Conqueror very early on in that, and I think you could also see him teased or set up or maybe even introduced in the Loki series with the TVA being involved. What is that, like the time variance?
I don't know.
I forget, but it's like the time police, pretty much. That's essentially what they are. So I think that's going to be great. I think you're going to dive further into the quantum realm. The whole cast is coming back. So I think Janet Van Dyne is going to be something that you explore. And I think you see Kang the Conqueror as the king of that quantum realm city that's kind of flashed in the back.
Yeah, Kang's a huge addition, and that's Nathaniel Richards, which is not to be confused with the character that Doc took in the draft.
I was confused by that.
Franklin Richards. I saw somebody bring that up, and that is not the same person. Nathaniel Richards.
So who's Nathaniel Richards in relation to Franklin and the Fantastic Four?
I'm pretty sure he says he's related to Reed Richards, but I don't know if it's ever like proven or whatever, because he's way from the future. So I think everybody assumes that he is, and if he's saying he is, then he probably is. But I think there's like a shred of doubt with that. But I don't really care much for the Fantastic Four, so I'm not as knowledgeable on that. But anyways, I think that one, I'm excited for that one too. I didn't see that one coming, but honestly, these next 3 things kind of knocked my socks off, especially the first 2 that I have on my list. Number 3 was Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher. Now, I don't know a ton about this character. I know Doc was very, very excited because somehow the way this all kind of plays out,
the necromancer sword, the necro sword or something,
bring in Null, who's a character we now see in Venom, and then that's where you can bring in Venom. It's like Null. I don't know a ton about, but I do have that the series that he's in. I have that somewhere, but I think it's King in Black is the name of the series. But anyways, he's been brought into the Venom comics and Carnage and all that stuff, and he's in symbiotes and whatnot. So I'm very excited to see if they bring him in. That's another way that you can bring in the Sony universe.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, like, I'm sure Sony's never going to shy away from an opportunity to make a free buck off of MCU's back. But I wonder if they want to hold on to that symbiote sort of thing. And then if you don't have something like Captain Marvel, where it's like the Skrulls, but they kind of talk, or Dark Phoenix, right? Wasn't Dark Phoenix or Captain Marvel? Maybe I'm confusing that, but I thought those 2 storylines kind of like.
Yeah, there's
and they couldn't get the rights to some of the actual titles of the characters.
I think Skrulls might have been. I think it might have been Skrulls with Dark Phoenix, but also we know with X-Men too, where they run into issues with Rogue, like how she took powers from Captain Marvel when she was Miss Marvel. So that's a whole other thing. But yeah, Wes, the thing is with Null, as much as he's a new character, so I think while you see him in the Venom comics, I would think that because he's been created since after the Sony Marvel deal, that they would be able to bring him in no issues. I don't know that.
I have no idea. I'm just saying, like, that wouldn't surprise me if they just want to hold, like, the symbiote is like pretty tied closely to the Spider-Man lore and comics. And I think maybe they would want to hold on to that a little bit. But I'm not surprised by Gore the God Butcher, though. Again, this was something that we've talked about on our program that he was linked to. Again, to give credit to a lot of the scoopers out there and a lot of like the rumor mills and stuff. This has been linked to a lot of people were just hoping that it was going to be Beta Ray Bill or something, like I don't think you get Christian Bale, someone of his caliber, to put him in a CGI suit and stand in front of a green screen. Like, I think, he's going to be more involved into this, and I'm sure there's going to be special effects and stuff like that to him. But I might see it more as like Voldemort, like just from like the early looks of what Gore the God Butcher is. He seems to kind of have like that flat face. So I think there's probably an opportunity to do a lot of like physical makeup and that sort of thing instead of just CGI.
That could end up being the case. That's a good call. I just think that, like, I look at this now, it's like Bale must look back at that Batman decision and think he was such an idiot, because you're coming back into it. I get that it's Marvel and the MCU and it's a different animal, different property and all that, but you got to feel like an idiot for stepping away, and because who knows where they'd be now? I
don't think so. I think he was tied to Christopher Nolan. I don't think he was tied to DC.
Maybe, but I mean, he was Batman. Like, that's.
Yeah, but I think he wants to be with good directors. Like, this is obviously like Taika Waititi. You can trust him in his direction. Like, I think that's what an actor or someone who thinks as highly of himself that Christian Bale obviously does would do. Like, I don't think he's going to be going to, Zack Snyder or Joss Whedon.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. Fair enough. All right. What's your 3?
Yeah, Secret Invasion. So this was the Nick Fury title property that was kind of teased. I think we might have talked about this a couple months back when it was teased as well. But again, Secret Invasion, this is a topic that I'm very interested in from a little bit that I know from the comic books. I got to be honest, Nick, you look very dark right now. Like you look very evil. You almost look like a Sith Lord.
Do I?
Yeah, I couldn't even see your eyes. You got the dark hood going on, the dark hair and everything. Yeah.
Maybe it's a little bit of foreshadowing.
There we go. There. Yeah, that's
that better.
Actually, I can somehow see your face better now. I don't know how that works. But anyway, Secret Invasion. I'm excited to see where they go with that.
I'm surprised you're going with the Fury thing and all this.
I love me some Samuel, except in the other guys.
Well, I mean, I think, look, I don't think Marvel's going to miss on most of these if they do it all. But if Samuel L. Jackson's involved, then I can't keep the hood up the entire time. I'm sorry. It's really uncomfortable with the headset. But anyways, I think I haven't really thought a ton about it. Like, yeah, sure, I'm going to watch it. It's going to be good. I hope I'm going to watch it, actually, because I never watched Agent Carter. But I guess if these are all going to be on Disney Plus, then it's going to be a lot easier for me to access. So I'll definitely work through all.
And I think these are going to be more cinematic than like sitcom, like not network TV shows.
It is mind blowing, like how different. Yeah, I agree with you. Like but it blows my mind. Like watching Lucifer. I like that show a lot, but seeing it was originally on TV. It wasn't originally a Netflix show. Now it is a Netflix show. But seeing what that was like compared to some of the other shows, as much as I enjoy Lucifer, it's like, man, it's kind of robotic in the way that it kind of doesn't. I wouldn't even say flows is the word I use, but the way that it moves, strange. But
yeah, hey, that's Lucifer for you. That's the devil. He moves in the pale blue night. Right?
Yeah, in mysterious ways. So the show. Now this is. I put this as my number 2, but this has potential to end up being, I think, the best show that comes out of all this. And this is the first Star Wars show that I'm mentioning. This came out of nowhere, The Acolyte, and it is a mystery thriller that will take viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. So to me, I would think we're going to be dealing with Plagueis and Palpatine. I really, really want to see pre-Rule of 2 Sith stuff. Like that would be great. I would love to be wrong. I mean, you can still have Palpatine and Plagueis and probably have Rule of 2. But I really get the inkling that that's what it's going to end up being. Either way, more Sith stuff, the better, Wes. Honestly, like it is they've done some cool stuff with it, but I feel like there's so much untapped potential still with the Sith.
You mean like on screen as opposed to like comic books and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, and even like in comics they've done it, and in prose I believe they've done some stuff too. Like Darth Revan was a character that I tweeted about the other day. I would love to see more of him. I've seen his look. I don't know if he has any comics, but even with Darth Maul, who's gotten 2 series in the comics, I did an episode on it with Doc and TLDR. He's only had 2 series, I believe. So there's a lot more to do outside of Darth Vader. Of course, Vader gets his due and has plenty of stuff.
Sure, yeah, who doesn't?
I want more of the other guys.
Yeah, I couldn't be more opposite for you. I don't care. Like it just doesn't ignite it for me. All the Star Wars stuff. I haven't been in on the Mandalorian. Everything that I've heard has been kind of spotty for the most part. So it hasn't really really wanted to pull me in yet. So I'm out on all this Star Wars stuff. I told you Falcon and the Winter Soldier was my number 2. My last one was the Loki trailer. I thought that's going to be fantastic. I was most excited about that. It took me a split second to realize that was Owen Wilson in the elevator with the gray hair and everything. Really? So I was like, oh, who is that? And then you kind of catch on to the voice and that kind of, is the way he talks and that sort of thing. But I think this looks very exciting. This looks like this is going to be a situation almost like Forrest Gump from what I was understanding, where, Forrest inserts himself into real life events. Like I think Loki's going to be inserting himself at different points in time. And kind of living out real life events that happen. Like I think there's some sort of heist that I was reading that it was being alluded to that actually happened, where this guy got away with an airplane and jumped out of an airplane with like a parachute. And you never see him again, and that's supposed to be the scene with Loki getting taken off in the Bifrost when he's like Thor and
Heimdall
ready. Yeah.
Okay. There's the other thing too was he recreated an image from the comics where I believe he was like running for office or whatever, and he's in like a suit, and when he has his helmet, his headpiece on. You know what I'm talking about? There's an image of that in the comic. So I never read that, but this show looks outstanding, Wes, and I expect nothing less. Like Loki. I think because he became a good guy later on in the MCU, people don't look at him as one of the best villains necessarily in the MCU. I don't think he gets his due, but he's an outstanding character. I think Tom Hiddleston's a good actor too. So I have the ultimate faith in this.
This might be a hot take, but he might be like a top 7 MCU character.
I don't think that's that hot of a take, and maybe we need to do something along those lines.
Hey, maybe we'll file it back there.
Yeah, because I think that's a good idea. But that did not make my list, but again, that falls under the same umbrella as Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like I already knew about it, so I mean, I'm excited about it. I'm excited to get a little
trailer that we actually got, and again, it looks like it picks up like right after the events of Endgame. You know, as soon as he gets his hands on the Tesseract too.
Right. Like that. The only thing that I had on this list that on my list that I knew about already was Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and that just is because that's the show I'm most excited about because I'm really hoping that Winter Soldier doesn't suck, and it doesn't look like he's gonna suck. I'm very. You think he's gonna suck still?
No, I don't think it's gonna suck. I think this is
him specifically. My apologies. I cut you off.
No, go. I cut you off here. You know, I'm turning a new leaf. I'm going to be more gentlemanly here. This is my fault. Please carry on.
I was just saying I hope it doesn't suck, and you were saying that he's not going to be the end of emo Bucky.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the end of emo Bucky.
Okay, all right. So my number 1 with a bullet is the Ahsoka Tano show, just labeled Ahsoka. I think she's an awesome character. She's one of my top 4 favorite characters in Star Wars. I wouldn't say she's my number 1. I think Maul and Cad Bane are my 1-2 punch. Sure, not necessarily in that order. And then Boba Fett's in there. Rey is in there as well. But I think she's just outside my Mount Rushmore. But I think this is going to be a great show. And this, I believe, takes place right around the time of when The Mandalorian is going on too. So a lot of opportunities there. We don't know where things are going to end up with Mandalorian. It's kind of gotten crazy. So, and I forgot to make a note about that, but it's kind of gotten crazy. And I think depending on what direction they go in, it could help Ahsoka show be even better than we already expect it to be. So
is it Ahsoka or Ashoka?
Ahsoka. Ahsoka.
I feel like I've heard it like every way, both ways, like 50% of the time.
Whoever's saying Ashoka should be launched right into the sun.
Just not a real fan. I think you're exposing yourself there.
I think that is a great point. How do you they're just lazy. Ashoka? I don't know. Just read. It's AH. Who would call Ashoka?
Maybe people have dyslexia. Who knows?
Well,
who are we to judge? A couple of things that I wanted to mention that I'm not crazy about. Armor Wars. Like, what are we doing, Don Cheadle and War Machine? Like, can we just end this Iron Man saga? I think they're just trying to draw blood from a stone at this point, especially Don Cheadle, War Machine. Like, let's just close the book on it. The other one, I'm like, Armor Wars, bottom of the barrel, and then maybe somewhere up to the middle towards like the better of the worst things that I'm not excited for. The Guardians holiday special. I'm just not sure what this is. Like, I want Guardians of the Galaxy. I know they just came out today and said 2022, 23. It's going to be coming out. I forget which, but they actually gave, an official release date for it. And Chris Pratt, Star-Lord, is apparently bisexual. That was also news today. So yeah, which makes sense because he's a bit of a space man whore. So
yeah, sure.
Yeah, open to a little bit of everything, But the Guardians holiday special, like I just want the movie. Like, I don't know what this is. Like,
come on, Wes, have a little fun.
I feel like they had to come out with like some sort of Guardians news, and they said we don't have anything. We're gonna do this, and we're just gonna happen to shoot it while we're also shooting Guardians of the Galaxy.
I wonder if they're making these changes I wonder if they're having that and then making the changes to Star-Lord to help kind of deal with Chris Pratt ruffling some feathers on, with the way he's handled politics or not handled politics. I don't know. I had not.
Whatever people's mad about. I haven't followed that story.
So it's a thing.
Yeah, so I think this was to save probably some PR. I don't know.
I think both of them are that. I think the same thing goes with the holiday special, but I think the holiday special would be stupid. I mean, it's stupid in a good way.
Yeah. Stupid, fun, lighthearted. Like if it's that, and if it kind of leans into it, then sure. It's not what I wanted in Guardians news. That's part of the reason why I'm sure it'll be fine. It's the whole cast, James Gunn, that whole thing. So how bad can it really be? But
yeah. I think it's pretty fair, but like those are really new developments was the Star Wars stuff, and then we saw like there's going to be a Buzz Lightyear movie too with Chris Evans as the voice of Buzz Lightyear instead of Tim Allen, which is a little surprising, but maybe I'll see it. But there's other. I think Disney did an outstanding job. There was so much stuff. I mean, it was for two people who didn't know it was coming. I remember looking on Twitter and be like, "What the hell?" And I should have known because Casey let me know on in our Geeks Worldwide chat. And I should have known. I get on Twitter, it's like, "What the hell is going on?" Star Wars shows, hey, and there's Marvel stuff. It was great day, crazy day, great day. But that's really the only news that came out of last week outside of the results for the Dork Shared Gooniverse superhero draft, which we have not talked about. On air since it happened, because that was on Tuesday after we aired our show or recorded our show on Monday.
Yeah, so and this was from what I could gather a smashing success. So congratulations to you, sir, for organizing all of this. This was a great job here, and it came down to what Mac put together on power rankings, right? Is that 1-2?
Unbelievable. So first of all, it was also Wes's idea in the first place. So good job on that.
Hey.
So teamwork that makes dream work. And right. Yes, and a lot of people had a helping hand in it. Doc helped out a ton too. Billy put some stuff together that was great. Shime was the host and of course wound up winning. Knack put together the power rankings, and then everybody else did a great job just having a good time. That's what all we wanted to do was give everybody something to enjoy for on the holidays, something different where everybody's involved. But yeah, I like Mac put it together and it was all chalk until the championship round, which is amazing. I mean,
and then which is exactly what you want. And it came down to a coin flip. I think it was like 56-43, maybe at most, with Shime taking down Davey. Davey was the top seed there. And I think it was like 150 votes, somewhere around 125, 150 votes or so. So, pretty good turnout, I would say, all in all.
A lot of passion in it too.
A lot of passion. Not even just from the contestants, but from the audience there too. So that was great to get that audience and viewer input in there. But Davey's team seemed to be technically top notch, right? It's Superman Prime plus $1 million or whatever that is, right?
Superman Prime 1 million, yes.
Yeah. One Punch Man, Green Lantern, and what's the other one?
Flash and Silver Surfer.
That's it. Yeah. Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, honestly, Davey's team was very much OP, but I mean, Shime his team did not have slouches. I still think that my team should have been ranked higher than Shime's. Obviously, he wound up beating me in the polls.
Dr. Manhattan was a great choice.
Dr. Manhattan's a ridiculous choice. Shime has the advantage of taking a manga character, which, I mean, look, when you're coming down to a fan vote, that's going to make a difference. And I think, honest to God, I was talking to my brother about it because he watched it, really enjoyed it. He thought he loved your team, by the way.
Well, some people got it.
Yeah. So, some people got it. Hey, you won the preliminary round match, right? You beat Rossi.
And a nail biter too, down into the final moments. I think I pulled it out in the final moments. I think it was 51-49 or something like that.
Hey, you still did it. That's all that matters.
Yeah, hey, I got it. Yeah,
that's all that matters. But Rogue does not get her due, and it really annoys me because she's one of my absolute favorite Marvel characters. Period. Forget X-Men characters. Like she's one of my favorite superheroes. Period.
Blame Bryan Singer.
She seriously. Well, it's that, and you don't have they could have figured out a better way to use that character. I know that the Miss Marvel part is missing, but take some liberties. If you can give her, could you not give her the power still, and just say she was already super strong and she can absorb other people's powers? I think if that had happened, then people would have a lot more respect for Rogue than she gets, and because she's okay. Superman Prime 1 million is indestructible, and he can give everybody the powers. She can steal someone's life force and steal their powers if they have powers. So she can get his powers. I don't understand what's the confusion?
I mean, in theory, it makes sense. I hear you. And I think Shime's team. What did that end up being? That was Wolverine, which I think probably it was a fan favorite, but
Wolverine
in a battle probably kind of hurts him.
Maybe a little bit. I mean, obviously he's
good on the ground.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When you got a lot of flying going on, I mean, you have Goku and you have Thor. There's going to be some flying going on. And then Green Lantern. All guys can fly except for him.
Yeah.
Yes. He had Green Lantern, Hal Jordan. And then Davey had Barry Allen, the Flash. So, a couple other guys got let off the board, but yeah, it was so I had so much fun with it, Wes. I mean, we both got a win out of it.
It was great, and Davey edged out Keith, and Keith, obviously brings his own sort of clout there in the battle of the two dorks, but he also was bringing with him Batman too, which I think was a heavy favorite in a lot of previous polls that they've done. So I think that Keith came in with that mindset and really probably executed on that draft strategy. I thought Goose was an interesting choice because he went with all Marvel MCU characters pretty much. Mm-hmm. Vision, Doctor Strange, Wanda, Scarlet Witch, and I forget who the fourth one was. Rocket Raccoon. Again, yeah. So, he went very popular, went very surface level, but again, very strong, magical power characters there too.
And
Doc kind of got burnt too.
He almost beat Keith too, Wes. Like that's not Keith. Like didn't just lose to Davey. He barely got past Goo too.
Yeah, that Keith was probably in like the group of death, if you will. He probably had the toughest road. I
mean, sure. I guess. Yeah, I guess he did. Yeah, I guess Keith did in the end. But I don't know how would what if I faced Goo? Would I have beaten Goo? Like I maybe I was ranked higher than him. Scheim, I know, beat me comfortably, but Doc had a good team too.
But I think people, again, once you get into like the vote thing, it becomes less about who's better to deal with an Omega level threat and more like, a little bit of a popularity contest, a little bit of teaming up 1v1 sort of thing.
Yes.
And more and less about like dealing with Thanos or
maybe we'll format it that directly that way if we do it again sometime.
Yeah. And I think that's it's almost impossible to not have that. I think that's just going to happen almost subconsciously when you're voting on it. You're like, all right, which team do I like better? Or then you're inevitably going to like put them up against one another.
Right. But all around, I mean, and Billy's approach was, well, okay, hold up. Rossi was ranked 9th, and as much as your team had 0 powers, I mean, Squirrel Girl obviously is no joke. But
she's an Omega level threat. She's right around there, if not.
So you like Rossi's team deserved to be 9 because I just felt like, what are you doing, Rossi? But Billy taking Spider-Man number 1 overall, we didn't talk about that enough. That was wild. Overall.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. But again, if you're picking with your heart there, I have a tough time, going against that. But to deal with an Omega level threat, I don't want someone who's shooting web shooters.
He had Homelander, which I understand, but also Homelander's a little like he's a rogue, and Captain
he's
America.
Not really that powerful, right? Those heroes aren't really that powerful.
Homelander is on that drugs. Powerful.
I think if you take him outside of the boys universe and you put him up against, say, Superman or Hyperion even, or Superman Prime plus a million, Green Lantern, like some of these other ones, like I don't think he would stand a chance.
He'd take on Green Lantern. He'd be fine there.
He's too busy like jerking off on the city.
Well, that's a good point. I don't know how committed you keep him to a fight. There is definitely concern there. I can't even remember who Billy's last pick was in all this.
Nah.
Yeah, but anyways, it was a fun time, and hopefully we can do something again. I mean, and if Mac wants to get involved again next time, or wants to be involved next time, then maybe
I don't think he wants to. I think he likes his position of decision maker.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think he did a great job with it. I mean, clearly we can't really complain about his power rankings that much. He got it all right.
Yeah,
shocker.
We're running long here. Let's go to your comic book minute.
Okay, so all right. A little bit of news came out this week, and I tweeted about it. Batman Urban Legends has been announced, and this is going to be an anthology series. Chip Zdarsky is involved. Doc loves this guy. He writes Daredevil, and I have not read Daredevil yet, but I will be at some point down the line. I did buy the first trade of that, at least Zdarsky's run. And so he's writing Red Hood. Then Grifter is going to be involved too, which for those who haven't read comic or maybe didn't read the Image comics when Jim Lee first went there, but that he's part of the Wildcats. But he is a Jim Lee property, so he get brought over to DC. And then I think there's a thing with Harley Quinn involved too and all this. But it's a 6-issue anthology series starting in March. I'm very excited about it. I am very much in. If Doc's not reviewing it for Geeks Worldwide, I know I will be for sure.
I think I saw someone I follow on Twitter kind of passing around the photos of Grifter, and he kind of looks like I thought he was like a Red Hood variant almost.
He looks kind of like like Red Hood with that mask and everything, but there's some slight differences. But he's cool. He's a cool character. He's got a great look.
I thought they were like introducing a new Red Hood.
Gotcha. Well, I
was like, who's this grifter? And I'm like, oh, it's not even like necessarily the same thing.
Yeah, he's actually been around longer than Red Hood has. Not Jason Todd, I don't think, but Red Hood for sure.
Okay.
At least that iteration. But anyways, Death Metal issue 6 is out this week, and this event has been crazy. I actually finished reading that not too long before the show. I got to write the review for Geeks Worldwide, which will be out the same day this episode drops, and it's available digitally at that point too. This is the penultimate issue, and it's friggin' crazy. And honestly, I get a little bit of goosebumps without going too far into it, obviously, because I can't spoil anything, but when I'm starting to, I feel like I've gotten an idea as we've gone along, like what is going to happen. And I still have a pretty good idea, but then a couple things happen in this issue where I'm like, wait a minute. All right. It's going to go in this direction, but there are a couple ways it can go after that too. So I've been look, Scott Snyder's writing it, and obviously
it's like a choose your own adventure, like a Goosebumps.
Sure. Yeah. I seriously got goosebumps when I was reading this.
Oh, nice. Well done.
But if you've been reading the details of from the Dark Multiverse issues that they've been doing off of this, there's the Crisis on Infinite Earths issue coming out this week. Mm-hmm. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Deadpool 9, been reading that. It's been great. Oh, I got to read Wolverine Black, White, and Red, the first issue. The second issue's out this week. Very much worth everybody's time. And I don't know if it's the same people involved, but last issue was like 3 stories within the issue, 3 different writers, different artists and everything. I breezed through that thing, and like it's not like this quick, simple read, but it's like I loved it. I imagine this one's going to be just as awesome too. So I highly recommend that.
All right.
First issues coming out this week. King in Black. So that was what we were talking about before with Null, the Immortal Hulk spinoff series. I guess there's a series for this. I don't know. There's so many with the Marvel events. And then Black Cat issue 1 is also out this week. And then just one other thing. Once in Future 14. Doc talked about it on TLDR a while back. I'm up to date on it. Doc's reviewing that. Really enjoy that book. I cannot recommend that enough to everybody who's at all interested in comics. And that's a Boom Studios book.
All right, nice. And then what do you got coming up on TLDR? Anything?
Well, it looks like. Well, I will say it looks like not this week, but the following. We may try and do a holiday special, and we also decided for our year-end episode, we're going to do an annual, kind of looking back at some of the stuff we've talked about this year, maybe some things we haven't talked about. But yeah, we're very excited about that. But this week, Wednesday, normal time, run 1:30 on Wednesday. And make sure if you haven't listened already, we talked to Cullen Bunn, dropped that episode last week, talked to him about his new book with AWA Bite Size, and talked about Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, Darth Maul. It was because he's written all those characters too. So fun stuff. But,
yeah, and that's a strong name, Cullen Bunn. I like that. It kind of rolls off the tongue well.
It does roll off the tongue well. Now, are you ready for our main topic that you came up with today? And honestly, Wes, as I was getting prepared, I'm like, this is such a relaxing topic for once.
Yeah, it's fun. We're not going at each other's throats here. We're not in the debates, the courtroom at the debate podiums this week. We're just going to go down memory lane, if you will, here and talk about our top Christmas gifts from childhood. Of course, Christmas is what, 11 days away? Is that right? Am my math right on that?
I think you are correct. And by the way, speaking of Christmas and the debate podium, if you guys haven't already, if you're watching us on the live stream, you can go to TeePublic and get our stuff on sale. I believe it's the last sale of the year.
35% off up to, if I saw that correctly?
Yep, but you can buy it any time, but we try and let you guys know when it's on sale because we get it. You want to save money. Why wouldn't you? But anyways, back to the top Christmas gifts.
Yes, exactly. So we're going to go kind of tit for tat here, talk about some of our favorite childhood Christmas gifts, starting from 10 to 1 here. Okay, so Nick, I will give you the honors.
Okay,
before age here.
Okay. So this was actually surprisingly tougher for me than I would have guessed because I've definitely gotten some cool stuff in recent years, and I do have stuff from recent years. But one toy that I absolutely loved getting as a kid was the Luke Skywalker lightsaber, and I believe I got another one as I got when the Phantom Menace stuff came out too. But I was a green saber guy personally. The lightsabers that they make now, Wes, if you see them at a Comic-Con, they're friggin' ridiculous. And I don't know if the kids get those, but the ones
this is like the one where you like flip it out and it comes out, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The ones now that like the sick ones now are like a white pole and it just lights up and you can actually like fight with them kind of. These you could as kids, not so much as adults, but I look back on it. I love Darth Maul. I didn't appreciate him enough when he first came out. My brother was one that wound up getting the Darth Maul lightsaber, and that was sick too.
Yeah, the lightsabers again. Admittedly, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I watched all the anthology ones, not all the spin-off stuff that's come out since. But who didn't want a lightsaber as a kid to play with? I think that's the ultimate toy. The Darth Maul one is sick. You're absolutely right. But the green lightsaber, that's like iconic, right? Everyone wants that,
right? Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah,
how old? You got an age here?
Well, I want to say before 10 for sure.
Okay.
I think I ended up getting 2. I just can't remember what the color of the second one was, but I think the first one I was probably like 7 or 8. My brother actually always had the red lightsaber. He got Vader's too. My brother's wow. I just realized I should start asking myself some questions about my brother.
Yeah, right. I'm actually going to be interviewing someone. This is a little side topic on a book that I'm currently reading. He's a sports psychologist. It comes out that says he's done scientific research that proves that the younger sibling is the better athlete in the family.
He was definitely more. I would say he's more athletic than me.
Yeah, they found like the 2019 U.S. Women's soccer team that won the gold medal. Like 2/3 or like 3/4 of that team were younger siblings.
Yeah, I
crazy.
Yeah, that doesn't blow my mind at all. I gotta be honest with you, but anyway.
No, I never really thought about it, but when you actually think about it, it makes sense. But it's like, oh, well, that's interesting. But I say that because you're an older brother. I'm a younger brother, 7 years junior to my brother here. So I got a couple of nice photos here I want to share with you. So this is Can you guys see here? We got this pulled up. This is Wesley J. Sykes in his youth here, putting together just a pristine gingerbread house, I should say. Rocking with the University of Arizona Wildcats hat.
Is that what that is? I was wondering what kind of hat that was.
Oh yeah, it's a good one. Then we have my brother and a childhood friend of ours building. Look at that snowman. Look how big that snowman is. That's a huge snowman.
It's gigantic.
How about I'm the little rascal in the middle there with the Mighty Ducks hat?
It looks like one of the hats from. I think I might have had a hat like that. The Mighty Ducks were so cool as kids. I didn't watch the movie as much as a kid. I liked it, but
the gear,
the gear and the cartoon too. Actually, that didn't make my list, but I got some Mighty Duck cartoon action figures as a kid, and I loved that show. That show was awesome.
You see my brother with the nice, I think that's the Charlotte Hornets starter pullover jacket there, who didn't have one of those growing up. And look at this is Mama Sykes here with my brother, and just Wesley with the green on green with the track pants, just ready to jump in off the bench.
Oh my God, Wes.
Look at that bowl cut with the part. That's some top-notch hair there, if I do say so myself.
That's classic, vintage.
And lastly, look at that guy, the Gap 2 smile there, me and the bro. Again, Charlotte Hornets, my brother, big Charlotte Hornets fan.
Larry Johnson fan?
I think he just liked the Hornets. I think that's just what it was. But we'll get back to more pressing matters here. My number 10 favorite item was bootleg rap mixtapes from my cousin Mike. My cousin Mike, he lived in Rockland. He was in the streets. He I like to say I was knee deep in the rap game. He might have been waist deep. So he always kind of kept me going good. Took me to Eblin's for the first time when I was a kid. Cash only type of place. But Big Mike, Diplomats, DJ Who Kid, DJ Clue and Desert Storm, all that stuff. When mixtapes were really, really popping off, he was my go-to rap source. Well, I owe a lot of my rap knowledge today to him, so he's my number 10.
That is so on brand for you. It's nice.
But I wasn't allowed to have for a long time cursed music, so he would kind of sneak this to me and stuff during Christmas.
So he wouldn't even tell, your mom didn't even know you got the gift?
No.
Oh, okay. That's a good,
yeah. Yeah, it's a good cousin. It's a good cousin.
That's a great cousin. How much older was he than you?
7 years old, just like my brother. Him and my brother are a month apart.
So there you go. All right. So that brings me to my number 9. Now, this gift, I can promise everybody I did not get this as a kid, because if I did, it would be kind of weird. This actually is a gift from one of my exes. And this is the best gift I've ever gotten from an ex, I would say. I've gotten some good ones. I was after college. I know that for sure. So childhood, yeah. So 24, 25. I think it was 24.
Yes, still a child.
Yeah, I would say some of the stuff I have now, I'm definitely still a child. But this was actually this is a Moon Knight flask
You've showed me this before, yeah?
I have. Okay, yes. So I may have showed it on the show too. I'm not certain, but I absolutely love this thing. And it's like old comic book strips. I think she got it on Etsy. But this is honestly, I mean, this is for me when I think about the gifts that I've gotten in life. This is a no-brainer. I mean, this is when too I was like really getting into learning more about Moon Knight. I heard about him from I think Contest of Champions. I hadn't seen much from him before, and then I was like, oh my god, I'm in love with this character. And she didn't find it too weird at the time, so she went and got that and found it on Etsy. I think I got her an Aladdin DVD because she loved that movie. So I was like, I don't know.
Oh man.
He liked it a lot.
That could have been a very serious relationship if you had like a $10 cap on one another. I guess
no, like I got her other stuff too. I think we had just started, like we had just kind of started dating. Like I don't think this was that expensive of a gift, as awesome as it was.
Yeah, I know. So is it a display item or do you actually use it?
It's a display item. I don't use it. I mean, I'm sure you could, but I'm not going to.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a flask, right?
Right. Yeah.
My number 9, PlayStation 2 video games. I don't think I got PlayStation 2 as a Christmas gift. I believe that might have been a birthday gift, but a couple of games I just remember being very excited about. I feel like a lot of this as kids and kind of growing up in our generation, it's systems, consoles, video games, a lot of those things, even though I don't really play them anymore. But Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, GTA, Vice City, San Andreas, those type of games. Like, and I always would wait. Like, I wouldn't buy them myself. I would wait until like my friends would have them, I would play them, and then like my mom would buy them for me for Christmas or something like that. But WWF SmackDown, Just Bring It, probably one of the most underrated PlayStation 2 game or wrestling games there is. I love it had The Rock on the cover, obviously. And then you have MVP Baseball 2005. So those are some greatest hits of the PlayStation 2 video games.
I am going to talk more about I will touch on the PlayStation stuff a little bit later on my list. So I want to save that my takes on all that for now, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, hold off.
Okay. All right. So that brings me to my number 8, which I still also have in my position. And this one I definitely did get as a kid. This is a Legolas Two Towers action figure.
Toy boy in the house.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Legolas is my guy through and through. I've grown to appreciate Aragorn more through the years. I always thought he was an awesome character, but I don't know. I think as I've kind of appreciated character development a little bit more in time, I've learned to love him more because Legolas is pretty much the same always. As badass as he is, I also got Gimli for Christmas, and my brother wound up getting Aragorn and Gandalf. So we kind of had the whole set. And
did you guys play with them? Like, did you ever play with action figures as a kid?
Yeah, I think I more did that. Like, I would play with his action figures by myself, and then he would kind of do it with my guys by himself sometimes. I didn't like that. Wasn't a thing he and I did.
Dreams.
No, that wasn't. I mean, maybe we did a little bit, but not a ton. Especially not at that age, because Lord of the Rings came out in like 2003, so I would have been or somewhere around that time, 2003, 2006 range. So I would have been 6th grade-ish. In that time, 2004, I was in 6th grade, I think. So, but yeah, I loved it. We would play the video games together, like those were friggin' awesome. I mean, Lord of the Rings video games.
Yeah, of course. Have a brother the same age like that. Yeah, that's good. Definitely. Good spot. Okay, so you're number 8. So I'm on number 8 here. Okay, I got to pull this up. So this is came out in 1989. So I can't remember. I remember this was a Christmas gift, and I don't know if this was for my brother or for me, but I remember we got a 14-inch. Fully plastic, like arms and legs could be bent, head could be bent. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Michelangelo figure. I'm gonna pull it up here. Where am I here? All right, let's see if I can add it to the stream. This guy, you can buy it for $25 right now on eBay. 14 inches. Good. One of my best friends, actually the best man at my wedding, Tim Izzo, had like Raphael and Don. He had like the whole set. So we all used to bring them to go over for like sleepovers and that sort of thing. We'd bring them all over, and then you have like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles there with you in the sleepover. 14 inches. I mean, pretty hollowed out. Could take a beating. You could throw it, anywhere. Super durable. Great toy.
So that's like hard plastic. That's not like one of the bendy toys or whatever.
Oh no, it's hard plastic.
14 inches, Wes?
Yes. Yeah. Look at this. Look at this guy.
Jesus. Yeah, I definitely had some bigger toys as a kid too, but I definitely grew out of those fast. I prefer 3, 6, 7 inch, but if you're getting 14 inches.
Oh yeah, that was like a cuddle monster. Yeah, you could take that to bed with you.
Okay. Yeah. I never did that.
It wasn't comfortable per se, but
I never did that with plastic toys. Because it just never felt it always felt really weird. I don't know. I mean, it's just
it felt right to me. So.
All right, now this I do not own anymore. My number 7 on my list, and there are other. So this is a jersey, a particular jersey, but I've gotten other cool jerseys through the years. I got like a Brian Wilson jersey T-shirt, which I loved. I got that. College.
Fear the beard.
Yeah, and exactly. And I cut that into like a tank top eventually because it was Brian Wilson, of course, on brand, right, with his stuff. Ken Griffey Jr. Reds jersey, I got one of those. Mike Piazza Mets jersey. Mike Piazza's my guy.
Was it the vest, like the button down vest jersey?
It was not the vest. It was.
That's when they had it, right? They kind of like changed it for him.
Yeah, I think that was right. It was the white ones that were.
I think so. Yeah.
This was actually all red, and it was like vented. You know what I mean? So it looked like a BP top kind of, but I think it was actually their jersey back then.
Okay.
That was sick. But I did not ask for this. My parents were really good about this. They would find stuff for me that was like random and cool. And I didn't know what, this is because my dad's a child still in his 50s, but he could find stuff that was random that he knew I would like, and I didn't even know that I wanted. In this case, it was a Jason Terry throwback Hawks jersey. Now, I believe this is the St. Louis Hawks era. I think Pistol Pete Maravich wore these. But I got this thing, and I was like, what the hell? First of all, I wasn't a big Jason Terry guy, but I was like, this looks so cool.
And this is when the Hawks were awful. They had nothing going for them except for these like kind of crazy unis. Like they were like, I feel like one of the first teams to kind of go back to like these like kind of like untraditional colors of their team.
Yeah, so I was all in on this thing. I wore this for a few years. I think my brother, see, it's funny. I got Jason Terry out of nowhere, and I was like, okay. Like at first, like what the hell? But then I loved it. And then my brother, I think, got a Ricky Williams Dolphins jersey. I think this was around that time. So it was a very odd trade-off.
What was your brother a pothead or something? Or
my brother, as we're going through this, I'm starting to realize more and more he liked a lot of questionable characters: Darth Maul, Darth Vader, and Ricky Williams.
Yeah, well, Ricky Williams is a good guy. He's trying to do good in the world.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, sure. He's definitely not on the level of Darth Maul and Darth Vader. I will say that.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of my favorite jerseys. I have a Lamar Odom Clippers jersey that I still love to wear, and it just gets better and better because of like everything that's happened. It's like aged really well. But when I was looking back through those photos when I was at my dad's house last night, I had this awesome black pinstripe Scottie Pippen Bulls jersey. So it's black with white pinstripes on it, So it's like an alternate or like road jersey or something. But Scotty, you talk about like kind of obscure. Like everyone had Jordan. That was kind of it. Like I wanted, the someone that not everybody had. That was Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, I did. That's a good one.
Tracy McGrady on the Magic. I had a big Vince Carter fan. Who was.
Oh my God. Yeah. I had a Steve Francis Rockets jersey too. I love Steve Francis.
The blue pinstripe?
No. It was red, like right before he got dealt. The one that Tracy McGrady won.
Yeah.
I think I had a T-Mac jersey eventually too. I had the Yao Ming blue one that you're talking about.
Okay.
But, yeah, I never had Allen Iverson though. Everybody had Allen Iverson. That was the other one. At least from like obviously Weston had like a slight age gap. That was my generation. Was AI and KG.
Well, what was huge for me is I can never have one. I'm still go back and look for them now, but they're very tough to find. The rare is the questions, the question mids, the Iverson Reebok shoes.
Oh, okay. I'm not a shoe guy at all.
Yeah, so those they're like one of my favorite Reebok shoes. Like Reebok doesn't make a lot of great basketball shoes, but that was one of them. Those were so popular at the time too. But my number 7, this came out in 2000, just like everyone else. I think was all the craze. Razor scooters, I don't really have a coordinated bone in my body. Like when it comes to like extreme sports, roller skating, snowblading, skiing, that sort of thing. Razor scooter was fun, but not very good. I could do a little bunny hop, maybe a little like twirl, like kick the thing around and land on it, But other than that, those were just fun to kind of roll around with. And then again, like if you held on to it, great second life. When I was living in New York, you would see all these like finance like bros and like suits and their satchel over their shoulder work bag, just riding along on their scooters and then like hopping on the subway a couple stops later.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that scooters became a thing again like that. I had a scooter, but I don't think I got the Razor. I forget what one my parents
knockoff.
Yeah, I don't know. I cannot remember what it was, but I remember it was like, oh, okay, I'd rather ride my bike. It just wasn't for me, I guess. I think it's because it wasn't Razor that I wasn't as excited about it.
Right. Your brother probably got the Razor, right?
No. Although I will say, as a quick aside, like we got, so when I got my first cell phone, I was 16 years old, and I think it was the Juke. And do you remember that thing? It was
I think I'm familiar, yeah.
So we both got it for Christmas, and my parents decided to play. Well, I think my dad decided to play a joke on me. My mom wouldn't have done this. He got his at the same time as me, so he was 13. So he opened it up, and I was like, wait, where's mine? Because my parents always did this thing. If we got the same gift, you open it at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. So
this is going to happen.
Exactly. So I was like, oh, and then my dad was, and I think my mom actually went along with it. Now that I remember, my dad goes, oh, well, you're getting the car because you're 16, you can drive now. So we figured we give him the phone so that way he can call if something comes up or whatever, and then you have the car. Wow. Okay.
That is a great dad move. Like I revel for those moments. I can't wait for those moments. And I got a good story like that coming up a little bit later.
So frustrating.
So that was, what's your number 6?
Number 6 is Xbox. So as you mentioned, like the Xbox. Now we got games through the years, and I don't know if we got Halo right away with it. We might have, but this is something that should be higher on the list because Xbox was such a source of entertainment for years for my brother and I. Between Halo,
and a game changer too. I think it was like a big game changer. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Xbox was outstanding. I wanted PlayStation 2. I did not have PlayStation. I've actually never had PlayStation. I will get PlayStation 5. But I was like, when we got this, like, what is this? We don't understand. Like, we want a PlayStation. What is it?
The controller was like big and bulky.
This has never heard of it in my life. We were kids when this came out. So, but you know what? My brother and I loved NFL Street through the years. NBA Street was a fun game. There was, Slugfest, all this different stuff. Halo was great.
Yeah,
I like it. It deserves to be higher on my list, but at the time, I was like kind of thrown off even more than I was by the Jason Terry jersey. So I can't put it that high in the end right now.
See, I love it. I think that was great. And as a child of divorce, I got for a long time like every new system from competitors, and one was at my mom's house and one was at my dad's house. So this was at my dad's house, the Xbox, and Halo on the first night. And I'm trying to think of what's like the second level or like first level. The Flood, is it the Flood where you have all the spiders coming at you?
Stop!
I remember playing that at like midnight, lights off, like freaking out in the basement. I couldn't handle it.
The Flood is straight nightmare fuel. I hate the Flood. Like I still wouldn't play. Like I hate that, man. That was my brother and I had to play those levels with the other one in the room, especially my brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So number 6, this was a great gift. My parents, my relatives couldn't, buy me enough of these. They thought it was great. They thought it was educational. It was fun for me. They were probably hoping that I would turn into like an engineer or a contractor or something like that, but. No, I just type on a keyboard all day. I'm talking about like anything Lego related. Specifically, I got a couple things pulled up here that were a big memory for me as a child here. So first and foremost, we have the Lego brick set Space UFO Alien Avenger Interstellar Starfighter. So these were 2 different sets that I got. So I don't know if you can get a look at that. Zoom in if you can. It's got these really cool green kind of like glass orbs at the top. You got your circular saucer and a couple different plates that you can kind of put on there as well. You get all the cool alien Legos there. Loved it. Big favorite of mine, that whole Alien Starfighter series. Also, what am I looking for here? Nope. Oh, just giving something away. This was also what I was looking for. The Skull's Eye Schooner. This was from 1993. This might have been a gift that my brother and I shared. But in 1993, I don't know if you can look at this here. And if I can just like bring this up. Here we go. Much bigger. Look at this set. Just like the detail in it was top notch. Obviously, we're buying this used here. But, I don't even know as a kid, like, you build it, then you take it apart, and then you want to kind of like create your own things. I don't know if you're a big Lego guy, Nick.
I was not a Lego guy whatsoever. I think I got some Legos through the years, but I think my parents found out. I don't think my dad was a Lego guy either, so that was part of why. So my brother was never bringing into it either. So
you get the Tupperware containers, and they're all sorted by your 3x2s and your 4x2s and your double blocks and your big one. And like you have them all kind of sorted like your own little toolbox. So when you're ready to build something on your own, create something, you got all your tools there properly sorted. goes into my anal retentiveness way back in '93.
I think you are in the majority in the DSG. I haven't asked the other guys about Legos, but I feel like most of the other.
I don't know, maybe. So I think, maybe it started dying off at like I'm 33. You're what? You're going to be 30, 29?
Yeah, I'm going to be 30 next year. Yes, let's not rush that process.
No, okay. So I was just got to get the ballpark right. So I don't know. Maybe that was like a different generation. Yeah, maybe just like Legos kind of dropped off a little bit. I don't know.
They might have dropped off a little bit, but they're still around, so they couldn't have dropped off that much.
Oh, yeah.
And Doc's well older than you, so he loved Legos too. I don't know.
Yeah, but my brother, he's probably my brother's age.
I think he's somewhere in. Yeah, I think he's around that, maybe a little younger. I'm not certain, but either way, the Lego I get it why people love them. They just were not for me. I don't know. I just never did much.
Hey, not for everybody. Right. What are you gonna do?
But that was your number 6. So that brings me to my number 5. And look, McFarlane he's gotten better and better over the years. But man, when he came out with his athlete action figures, we had you grew up with starting lineups, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I had that for a portion.
Yeah, it's like Home Alone. Yeah,
right.
When he's like shooting the BB guns and stuff.
And those got better through my childhood, but then starting lineup became just flat out irrelevant when Todd McFarlane got into the game and started doing baseball players and basketball players and all this. And I still have Roy Halladay at my place, Brian Wilson at my place, which is a great one. I forgot who got me that one. Jim Edmonds as well, which is probably Jim Edmonds is him like diving, catching a ball.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
That's probably the coolest looking one and my favorite one right now that I have from the years. But at the time, my absolute favorite one that I got was Michael Redd from the Milwaukee Bucks.
I have so many questions about this. One, why is this number 5? 2, why Michael Redd? Why not Jim Edmonds? Why not Brian Wilson? Like, those are baseball players. Like, I get that, like, connection to you.
Well, okay, I don't know if I got Jim Edmonds at Christmas. Brian Wilson, I got when I was older. I just remember as a kid that for some reason I've always had a thing for the Bucks. I mean, I still have a Bucks hat. I loved Ray Allen when he was there, and then it kind of translated over to Michael Redd when he came around. Even though he's an Ohio State guy, and I've always hated Ohio State. I don't know. I mean, he was a 3-point shooter, knockdown 3-point shooter, lefty. He's weird, different, and he's on the Bucks. So,
and it was better than the Xbox he got the year prior.
I was again the Xbox in the grand scheme of things probably should be number 3 on this list for me. But in terms of the surprise and how awesome it ended up being, but I'm with some of these, I was like, when I opened it on Christmas Day, how did I feel about it, and then how did I feel about it afterwards as well is also a factor. Michael Redd, I was so happy when I got it. I didn't think I was going to get it because you don't see those in stores around here. It's not like that. Yeah. So it's just he was at that time my favorite basketball player. I think it went from Ray Allen to Steve Francis. T-Mac was always important to me, then Michael Redd, and then I don't know. After that, it was Brandon Roy, maybe. Paul Pierce, Brandon Roy, and then Paul George, who has, I don't want to
playoff P. Yeah, I just think it's weird. The action figures that you don't play with, that you just kind of keep up, and stand up. I never got the Funkos. I never understood the McFarlane action figures and things that just never hit me. Maybe like you with the Legos.
So here's the thing. So with the McFarlane's action figures now, they definitely articulate better than they did with Michael Redd. He barely moved, and he's just dribbling too. He's not even shooting. But to me, I don't know why, but I appreciate the detail. If you get something that looks really cool and it doesn't move as much, I'm okay with that. I don't know why. As a kid, Wes, I would have I'd be watching a show and I'd have all my Power Ranger action figures lined up around me. My grandmother, I remember, used to tell me that all the time, how I used to do that. I don't know why, but that's just what.
Yeah, I don't know. I think once you get those sort of things, especially as we get older, you just all right, you get it, and then you put it on a shelf, and then you just forget about it for 20 years.
I guess so. I mean, I look at it and it's to me, it's it makes me think about the character. Obviously, that's why I'm.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's just how I see it. Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's why you're not one of the toy boys.
Yes, that is a great point here. All right, so my number 5. This is actually something that one half of the toy boys can probably relate to. Is Beanie Babies. I was a huge Beanie Baby fiend as a kid, so anything that you could get me, I had a whole bunch. In fact, up until a couple of years ago, I think Jules made me throw them out because I was still holding out hope that they're going to be worth something. I had a couple, I had a Princess Diana bear. I had Erin the Irish bear. I had Valentino, the white Valentine bear with the red heart on it. Spangle, the American flag bear. Righty, the Republican elephant. My brother had the donkey, the Democratic donkey. that had like the patches, like the flag patches on the butt. Like I had all of those, and like I loved them. The McDonald's things when those were coming out, like the McDonald's Beanie Babies and the Happy Meals. I got so fucking fat from going through the drive-through, getting the Happy Meals, and trying to get like the little Beanie Babies there. And again, this goes into like the same type of thing as like the toys, right? Like again, I didn't do anything with them. I had little like special collector things to go over the I had that too. The cards or whatever, the tags. And I kept thinking that was going to be like my retirement fund up until maybe 3 years ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm still not completely sold that they're not.
Well, I mean, you never know. Stuff comes back. I mean, like, well, Pokemon's never gone away, but I still have my Pokemon cards in my parents' attic that I need to sell at some point. Maybe I'll give some to Shine too, but I have a lot of Pokemon cards still. But
yeah, I'm just waiting for it.
I had Beanie Babies too, Wes. I remember the one. My favorite one was named Hope, and I got it for first communion. It was my prayer Beanie Baby. It was a little bear. I just thought it looked so cute, and it was in my room with my brother forever with that thing. I had other ones too, but that was the only one. But it did have the only one that I remember. But it had I had that same thing.
You'd set it up on your bed. Then it would be you, your brother, and then the bear just praying together at bedside before.
Yes, that's exactly what we did. Yes,
that's the image I got in my head. That's a good image. It's a pure image.
Yeah, sure. We'll fine. We'll leave it at that then.
Okay, so what do you got for your number 5?
So actually Michael Redd was my number 5. I'm on number 4. We actually at one point at Christmas time got a Pop-A-Shot for my house. It was in my parents' basement.
Or just one?
It was just one, but it kept score, so like you would be able to do 2 players at once.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
And again, I've said it. My dad was a child too. He still has bubble hockey at his house. He has a ping pong table. And we didn't always have the ping pong table. We before had a Pop-A-Shot set up in the basement, and that's just one of the coolest things ever. I mean, I did not appreciate that enough as a kid, I will admit, but it was so much fun. My brother absolutely loved that too.
No, so I think with my number 4 and your number 5, I think those are great sleepover items. Like you have a couple friends over, you watch the movies, you're getting hopped up on soda and pizza and stuff, and you're playing Pop-A-Shot all night long. And it kind of goes into my number 4, the Milek mini hockey set. So that was a little bit of the cheapo brand one. So it wasn't the Bauer or like some of the higher end ones, the NHL certified ones, but these were great. You have 2 or 3 friends sleep over your house. You have the mini hockey set, and you just have knee hockey tournaments in the living room or in the basement all night long. It's a great time.
Is that peg hockey?
What do you mean peg hockey?
Is that like where they have the little like stand-up guys and they're on a rink and then they like you?
No. These are actual mini hockey sets, and you have little mini like the card stick sort of thing, and you have like the little like rubber foam puck that you just kind of it's like a soft puck, and you can just play in-house. It doesn't break anything, and you're on your knees. It's like knee floor hockey.
Did you ever play like street hockey or anything like that?
No, I can't. Like I said, I can't skate. I can't roller skate. Like that. My coordination's there. Like I'm not a hockey guy whatsoever. One of my childhood friends ended up growing up to go up in the NHL, and it was like we grew up to like going to Gallo Ice Arena together. He's skating circles around me, and I'm on like milk crates just trying to stand up. I didn't know that. Right. Yeah, Mark Fane. He played in the New Jersey Devils and Edmonton Oilers.
I did not know that. Huh.
Yeah.
I can't believe you've never told me that ever.
Yeah,
Oh, anyways, I remember I wasn't a skater, but I remember playing hockey in my driveway sometimes with my brother, my dad, and I had like goalie gear at one point, and it was really bad goalie gear. And I remember getting hit sometimes. Like, I don't know how people do this. I'm done. I'm out. Like, we did it a few times, and that was it. No thanks. But
growing up in Massachusetts, and again, like a lot of the kids in my town were like big hockey heads, And everyone looked at my dad and they were like, "You're not raising your sons to play hockey. What's wrong with you? You're un-American," And it's like, neither one of us could skate.
Well, yeah, skating is tough.
I was a basketball fan too in the winter. That was my winter sport.
Yeah, that was what I played too. I wanted to play hockey at one point, but I think it was too late when I decided to like maybe give it a shot again. And it's like my dad was like, my parents were like, "You don't know how to skate," and my dad loved basketball too, so he wanted me to play. But But yeah, so that brings us to my number 3, which I do have a picture of me on the day that I received it, and I believe this was in college, and this will bother some people in the DA.
Oh boy!
But this is before I could connect the goatee, and this is back when I was like 200, 205 pounds. Now I walk around like 185.
I was going to say, you look a little more gaunt now. You know, your cheeks look filled out in that photo a little more.
Yeah, well, that was back in my playing days when I wanted to weigh a lot more, you know.
Well, yeah, you were still mid cycles, right?
Yeah, and big ass equals gas. So like that's why
is that a baseball saying?
Something like that. Yeah, I might have got it wrong, but you know, you get the point.
Big ass equals gas, or is that just something you use in life, like outside of the baseball field?
It's definitely more of a baseball thing. Oh, by the way, you must have loved that Big Ten thing that I said in the group chat. The thing I told Mac about what is it? 10 in 11 girls in the Big Ten are hot, and the 11th girl goes to Northwestern.
Oh, I see. I didn't understand. I think I misread that, or there was a typo in there, so I didn't fully understand that. But yeah, I would imagine Northwestern, you got a good amount of talent there.
We do now, but when I was recruited there, the guy who was bringing me on, he told me that. So like, oh, okay, well, whatever. I mean, it's
not a state school though. You know, it's not Ohio State or Michigan or something.
My buddy Matt went out to visit Chicago after we graduated, and he saw the campus and whatnot, and he was like, dude, this is like, he couldn't believe it. So it totally changed when I got there. Yeah. And even the seniors told us. But anyways, that's beside the point. The Theracane is my number 3, which I actually found out about in the course of my training for baseball and everything. And I still own this thing, and I will never get rid of this thing. I'll have it forever until it breaks, which I don't think it will. And this is for like massaging tough spots and everything.
I've seen you bring that into the old studio there.
Yeah. So I love it, Wes. I mean, I definitely get some like tightness up top.
Yeah.
And you know, because I do a lot more chest than I used to back in my playing days, which I never did back then. But I honestly, I recommend, if you're like, that is a gift for everybody that has like back pain.
Well, I think what's great too is like, do you use like Theraguns or anything like that?
No.
Oh, see that's if you want to upgrade, get like a Theragun, or I got Jules a like a massage ball. Like, you know, sometimes she'll like lay on like a lacrosse ball or something for lower back, or like her hamstrings or something. But this is like a vibrating ball. And it's great for that sort of thing. Or you know, a little extracurricular activity as well. Maybe a little fun for both of us. Who knows?
I don't know if I'm ready for the vibrator game yet, but
yeah, no, it does make a huge difference, though.
I'm sure it does. Yeah, I've thought about getting stuff that like the automatic massage thing, the shiatsu stuff, to just to, why not mix it in? But I've never pulled the trigger on it. But that's my number 3, the Theracane. And seriously, like, if you guys are looking for something, if you do a lot of chest and you get tight in I get tight in my upper back, and I have to massage my chest as a result, and that thing always helps.
Yeah, in the shoulders, right? I always wear all the stress in the shoulders and the neck there. My number 3, Nintendo 64. Again, another system. This was something that, again, as a child of divorce, is something my dad got for me. So every time I'd go over there, that's what we would have to play. GoldenEye, Wave Runner 64. Those were like the 2 games that came with it. I think Super Mario 64 came. Not a big Mario guy. I don't really care too much about that. But GoldenEye, Wave Runner 64, Cruising World or Cruising USA or whatever it was. Yep. Those 3 games were must-haves for me. Love the Wave Runner. Love GoldenEye.
Did you? So when I never owned Super Smash Brothers, but I had a bunch of friends.
Yeah, of course, my bad on that.
We played that a ton in college. So we played that on the road a lot. That was I know a lot of people say Mario Kart is the best, but Goo will say, I think it's Goo, right? Goo and Rossi will say Diddy Kong is the best.
Yeah.
Super Smash Brothers is the absolute best N64 game ever, period. I can play that with anybody, anytime. I'm always down. That is my favorite.
Many a college night was wasted in front of a small little box TV screen playing Super Smash Brothers. But what we used to do is we used to put 4 and all on CPU and like bet on Super Smash or Mario Kart or something like that, and play like drinking games and that sort of thing. So that was also kind of fun.
That's amazing. Now, who was your character of choice in Smash?
In Smash, I was Captain Falcon, the Falcon Punch usually.
Yes.
Big. Or I was also, I'm going to blank on it. No, Metroid Prime. Metroid there.
Samus?
Samus, yes.
I never
with like the chain, and then you can kind of whip them.
Yeah. So with Falcon, if I could ever land a Falcon punch, I mean that was great. But I mean, especially as you got older, guys knew how to avoid that, especially when he's announcing the move. But his up B move to catch somebody and then explode them like that. Oh my God! Yep. I get people on that all the time. Falcon was the absolute best.
Yeah. So those two were my favorites there.
I need to play that game right now. I wish I had it. Oh, that was so awesome. All right. So my number 2, I don't have a picture of me opening this, and I would have gotten this right around, actually would have been freshman year, I think. I got this. So this is actually, you want to talk about me looking gaunt. I think I was the same height at this point. This is when I was a freshman in high school at Westport. And yeah, so let's see. I think my eyes are closed in this picture, but I just realized that. My bad. I realized I zoomed in. Oh boy, zoomed in a little too hard there. So anyways, so it was a Rawlings customized glove. And all right, sorry, I'm getting all messed up with this. It was a customized glove. It had my name on it. It had my number. It had an American flag on it. Now, here's the problem, Wes. You can see the 3 on my uniform there, right? I was 31 all through high school. That's my freshman year on varsity.
John Lester or any? I
was Mike Piazza. I started wearing it as Mike Piazza, and I always kept it as that. But then I switched before high school to number 22 to Mark Pryor, and that's the same model glove that Mark Pryor wore. Mm-hmm. So but when I got to high school, I didn't realize there was somebody who already wore number 22 on the team.
Yeah.
He was a junior. He was not going to give that number
up. Give it up. Yeah.
Nope. No shot in hell. So I was wearing a number 22 glove, and I'm wearing number 31. So I looked a little bit like most people didn't know, but I was like, oh,
you felt it. Yeah. Did you bring your hands over the top, or were you kind of more in like a Pedro Martinez and then go to the side step? Like what was your delivery?
I eventually went over the top. I did not initially, I think right before I went to college, I started going over the top, but I was always, I normally just kept it still. Mm-hmm. But the pitching coach I saw in high school decided, let's change it up. But by the end of it, I just preferred to go out of the stretch because it was just so much simpler. But yeah.
Who was the journeyman pitcher who had the high socks like you're wearing, who played on the Red Sox and the Royals, Bird, and who would bring his arms back down like old school, and then you kind of have that vibe going when you're on the mound right there in that photo.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, yeah,
what was his first name? Do you remember?
It was Paul Bird, and what he would also do too is he wouldn't just do the swing. Sometimes he would mix in a double swing to kind of throw off a hitter's timing.
Oh, see that's great. Then you're not ready for that. I like that. That's gamesmanship right there.
I eventually switched off of that glove before high school ended to a Reebok glove like Josh Beckett had. Mm-hmm. And my brother wound up wearing that glove, I think, when he was a senior in high school, when he turned into the best pitcher and the best catcher on the team, which was a little bit problematic at times.
Oh, yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
That's my number 2.
Okay. So my number 2 is my favorite, tangible gift that I received. It'll make more sense when you hear my number 1, but this is a combo gift. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 6.5-inch White Ranger Legacy figure, excuse me, in combination with the Mighty Morphin Legacy White Ranger Saba Talking Tiger Saber roleplay toy, which now values for $600 on eBay. You might have seen it if you're watching the live stream here. I brought it up. So that's what you're talking about here. Maybe I can pull this up a little bit more here. And that's what you got. And it actually gives a little bit, you can talk to it, gives out a little bit of noise. It's actually, you can wield with it and play with it and stuff. So it's like much like a lightsaber. You can bring that out into your imaginary LARPing scenarios. And that works out great for you. But the reason why I loved that 6.5-inch White Ranger toy so much was that what I found out after the fact, what my mom had to do to go through this. That was obviously like the most popular, hottest toy of the year. Every kid wanted it. Power Rangers, that they had those smaller ones with the heads that could flip, right? So it's
I had those.
And then you had like the regular head that would flip, and you like pull down the belt buckle or something, and it would flip over. But this one wasn't like this. This one was a little bit bigger, it was a little bit sturdier. It had a lot of articulation points on it. I think it was wrist, elbow, shoulders, knees, feet, hips. So you had
fingers.
Maybe fingers too.
Because I might have had some of those, but not the White Ranger.
I think you're right too. I think it did have fingers. Now that
I think I had those.
It was sold out everywhere. Toys R Us, KB Toys, you name it. My mom told me, and this may be like a lore thing, like she's just like building up her like mom lore, but that she was waiting on the docks for this like boat shipment to come in with a bunch of other parents that had like these vouchers. So at like 6 a.m. or something, to get their hands on the story. And Jordan Craig, she got it. I had it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I believe that she probably worked her ass off to get it. I don't doubt that, but
yeah, to that same degree, I bet she put in a lot of effort. But waiting down with a voucher, like all these other parents down there, like waiting in line for it. Hey, you know, the things you do for your kids.
Yeah, I mean, God, looking back on it too, it's like I feel bad sometimes, like how much I asked from my parents for. So
yeah. Well, yeah, you're a kid. You have no idea of what like money is or like what it takes to pull these things off.
Yeah, and I just can't believe. I just hope that. I mean, it's gotten a lot easier as our parents. You know, as we got older, and as we when we become parents, it's gotten a lot easier, and it will be easier to get these gifts. But I am stunned at some of the gifts that my parents got. That's why like Michael Redd is so high on my list, because it's not like you're not going to find Michael Redd around here. Like that was kind of my point. It's not today where every McFarlane toy that comes out is available pretty much everywhere.
That's true. Or you can't just go on the internet. Yeah.
Right. Then they could, but my dad wasn't like this tech guy.
Yeah, but I'm sure it wasn't as savvy or as seamless. I'm sure they're probably worried about like credit card hackers and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. All that stuff. All that. So my last one on my list is actually a gift that I gave. And the reason I have it on here, so you guys can see it, what it looks like brand new. This is an all-star catcher's mitt, which I actually own one now, and this was my brother's. I think this was the one that he got. This was the second one that he got. I'm pretty sure he got 3, maybe 4 through the years. The first one that he ever had, though, I got, and I think this is not that one because that one broke. But I use them for my lessons now. The reason that's my favorite gift is because I bought that for him, and it was like a $300 glove, $350 glove. It's the all-star catcher's mitts are top of the line, no questions asked. Like,
yeah.
The rest of the stuff, whatever. I don't even know if they sell their other mitts. And I got it for him, I think, as he was going into his freshman year of high school, where he was going to be able to be my catcher. And I remember him being so excited for it. And it was to the point, Wes, where that was like, that was the most expensive gift either of us got each other.
Sure,
and years later, he still cared about it so much that he got me like the couch that I own in my place. He bought the couch for me because of that. Now it was a little more, obviously the prices are a little bit different, but
inflation though, it probably equals out.
But he did it he never forgot because of that. And to me, like that was just like they'll never be a better gift. Period.
Nick, this is why I will never outdo you in good guyness, because your top Christmas gift from the childhood is not even a gift that you got yourself, but you gave to someone else. Truly a selfless act that you're giving up your top spot once again to your brother. I mean, it's actually serendipitous.
Oh, thank you. I actually thought about it earlier. I was like, God, I might get emotional. It's because how happy he was from it. Like
it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful to hear. I might tear up, and I haven't felt anything in years.
Yeah, you don't cry ever. But seriously, like when you put your heart into getting somebody a gift, like giving is better than receiving. And it sounds like cliche. I mean, when you're doing it right, yeah, it absolutely is better to give than receive.
Yeah, well, that's
you don't make it like that one now.
Well, yeah, hey, I don't know. You said it, not me. You said it, not me. My number one, again, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers toys, tangible things. That might be my favorite gift. I teased it earlier, talking about dad jokes and things like that. So my father, once again, I was probably in about 5th or 6th grade. So my brother's 7 years older than me. He's in high school or so. Never gone to Disney World. So we go over to my dad's house Christmas night, maybe the day after Christmas. He has all these gifts set up, trees lit up with all the, the presents under the tree and everything. Everything's wrapped. Hands me a couple boxes, hands my brother a couple boxes. We open it up and it's like oatmeal or like an opened box of Cheerios or, some like household items, like a box of raisins and things like that. And we're like kind of looking at each other confused, like, all right, what's going on here? And then they handed us another gift, which was like a book to a guide of Disney World. And they said, this is your gift. You're going to Disney World, February vacation or something like that. Right. I think that's Martin Luther King Day, right? In February. Yeah. So we went there and I was like, so super excited. Never gone to Disney World before. That was the first time, but it was like my dad's joke. Cause he wanted something else to like open up and also kind of play a joke because there was really no other gifts. Like that was the gift to open up. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was like a classic dad move. And it was one step better than what he did when my brother was in elementary schools. Still hardcore, believed in Santa Claus, was bought into everything, all about it. And Christmas morning, my brother comes down, grabs his stocking, and finds coal in his stocking.
Jesus.
My brother finds it. He is mortified. What did I do? I was a bad boy. I'm on the naughty list. What happened? And my dad, in like typical dad fashion, was just like, everyone needs something to work on. Nobody's perfect. So that's why I my parents didn't get divorced immediately after that, but I think that was, probably something in hindsight. My mom was like, all right, what are we doing here?
It all makes sense now, Wes. Really
I find it hysterical. If it was me in that situation, it probably would have scarred me emotionally for some time. But I find that to be like such a dad move. It is like a dickish dad move, because he said his father gave all his kids lump. Lump poles.
I'm glad you never got one, Wes. You don't deserve one.
No. Well, again, I was the younger sibling, so they got all their mistakes out on the older child.
Oh, freaking bullshit how that happens, but it's so freaking true.
Yeah. So Trip to Disney World, number 1.
That's a pretty damn good one.
I can't argue with that, right?
No, I think that's got to be your number 1. If it wasn't your number 1, then I would say you're spoiled rotten.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless the more from one, I could understand. Like in hindsight, like that was your mom put a lot of effort into that.
Yeah, and like I was such a huge Power Rangers fan at the time. Like I was obsessed, crazy.
Who was?
A couple honorable mentions I wanted to point out. Pogs again, Goo Pogs. Would love that. Who wasn't a big Slammer fan? Talk Boy from Home Alone 2. Really, really wanted to have that. That was a must-have Christmas item. Tech Decks. Middle school, early high school, who didn't love those little finger skateboards.
Oh, big those were awesome. Tech dudes too, right? Wasn't that the characters that were on them?
They eventually spun off out of that. But
I remember those.
Originally just like the fingerboards, and you had the half pipes and like the rails and everything.
Yeah.
The Furbies or Tamagotchis or anything like that, like those like any hot toy at the moment, I kind of had wanted. Those are items there. But one of my favorite ones was the 1995 Buzz Lightyear Ultimate Talking Action Figure. So this came out right after Toy Story came out, and it was essentially like a real life replica of the Buzz Lightyear toy. It had all the soundings to infinity and beyond. I'm Buzz Lightyear, all that stuff you could hit. Had the wings that came out with like a little lights that flashed, at the back and everything. So. Really well done toy. Again, spitting image from the Pixar movies.
I'd never had a Buzz Lightyear toy. I was always the Woody guy in the family. Sure. My brother got Buzz Lightyear. But yeah, I do remember they had some pretty kick-ass Buzz Lightyear toys through the years. The only honorable mention that I would say that I have is baseball cards. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Pokemon cards. I was part of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Phase 2 for a little while. But man, I still have occasionally, even this past year, when I've gone out to a store, like if they sell baseball cards, yeah, you know what? I'll buy a pack. What the hell? See what happens.
Yeah, who knows?
It gets a little weird. Well, it's just maybe you get a guy like I get a kick anytime like I get Corey Kluber, because like he trained at the same place that I trained at, or that too, local guy too. But like he trained at the same place that I trained at for years, and then Cressy, and then Syndergaard, same thing. Some of these guys, J.A. Happ's the Northwestern guy, so like different things like that. It's for me, but then it gets weird when Bryce Harper got thrown into the mix. It definitely did get a little bit weird for me, because like, oh, hold up, like
because he's younger than you.
Yeah, he's younger than me. He's in the league. I'm not out of college. Like, this is, I think once he helped me get through that phase pretty quickly though. But I don't collect them like I used to. But those were always fun as a kid. God, I love baseball cards.
J.A. Happ, former Born Brave.
Was he a Born Brave?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't even. So many of those guys played in the
not a lot of pride in the Born Braves alumni. I believe there's Kevin Youkilis. You got J.A. Happ. I think Darren Erstad, but not a whole lot.
The first Commodore guy that I think of is there's two guys that I know of that I played with in the league right now. There's Farrell, obviously John Farrell's son, but the big one is Reese Hoskins. Who was a beast back. Oh my God.
And I think. Who else? I want to say Jacoby Ellsbury was a Commodore.
That sounds right.
He was either a Commodore or a Cavalier. But
then John Means too. He's an all-star too, Major League Baseball all-star. But anyways, we're not here to talk about baseball.
Former number 1 pick too a couple years ago, the catcher from the Orioles.
Oh crap! I don't remember his name.
And he has a weird name, but
the number 3 pick for the Phillies a few years back too. And then Brandon Finnegan, the first ever pitcher to pitch in the College World Series and the actual World Series in the same year. We had the same host parents. They were his first host kid. Then he left for Team USA Baseball, and then I came in, and they told me who say the day before.
Yeah, I remember you told me that. Yeah,
and I was like, yeah, I'm not him. So, but anyways,
you made up for it for personality and wit, Nick.
Yeah, thanks. So we've gone a lot longer than we normally do. So you want to just hop over to this week in the DSG?
Yeah, because I think we already talked about, what's on her mind. I mean, we had so many other things that we touched on in the trending now, especially, what was going on in the DSG. Of course, if you're listening now, I believe in 30 minutes or to an hour, the DSG top Christmas movies on the hashtag Dork podcast with Shime, Mac and Goo, and PCP to some sort of involvement. I believe they're being involved, members of that crew in there.
Yes, and then I don't know what the People for Communism podcast. I do not know what they're doing.
You wrote that every time. You can't say it.
I know it's a mouthful. They should. I know. Like I know they just go by PCP, but I just want everybody to remember what they stand for, what that podcast stands for. So that's why I read it in its entirety. So I don't know what they're doing this week. Do you?
I'm not sure either. That's a good question. Probably something music related, but they have a busy week for themselves. I think it's actually Billy D's birthday today. So
that's right. Billy they're doing something. They're doing whatever Billy wants to do for his birthday.
I think it's his topic. But a busy week for them because they're also going to be appearing on the top movie soundtracks of the 1990s with the Mac and Goo program, which I believe is already available in audio and visual versions, depending on what you prefer.
That's right. Yep, I forgot they did that.
And them Pineapple Boys, we don't give them enough love.
Oh my God,
Doc and your boy Doc and Billy. So I believe they're on episode 4 or 5 at this point, or going into episode 5 at this point. You're a Psych fan. They're doing the rewatch on that. So a bit of a niche program, but that could be if you're into that sort of thing. I think those are two great people to go on that experience with. How's that?
I think that's as good of an endorsement as you can give them. I don't watch the show, but I enjoy listening to them talk about it because they love it so much. And you're right, we do need. I'm surprised Doc hasn't mentioned to me that we don't mention it. But yeah, that is streamed on Thursdays and comes out on Fridays, the same day that TLDR hits the Change My Mind audio stream as well, and that will be live stream on Wednesday. 1:30. Doc will be tweeting that out for sure. And don't forget to watch Doc's Twitch streams and Shimes as well, and Davies whenever he's able to get to it.
Yeah, and I think for next week, one of the rare times that we've actually planned ahead, we will have a brand new movie to review. We will be going out and bearing the elements for Wonder Woman 84. That will be in theaters, I believe, on December 17th. And I don't know about you. We watch this movie. Maybe we do an early review, something like that. And then maybe we'll put it out ahead of time because, of course, that week is Christmas week.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's the way it works out anyways. We'll do it. Oh, I get what you mean. We don't do it on Monday.
Right. Not do it on Monday, the 21st, per se.
Got it.
Maybe like a more rapid one, like that Saturday. Maybe we see it on a Friday and then review it on a Saturday.
Okay. I think that's...
We can talk about that off here. Either way, the people are getting Wonder Woman 84.
Yes, exactly. We'll talk about Wonder Woman 84 next week. So until then, Wes?
Same bat time, same bat place.